The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good Friday morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN. Just after 9 a.m. Eastern Time, we kick off the trading year in 2026. Thanks for kicking it off right here with me on the Morning Market Kickoff at TFNN. And we got markets starting things off right where we left off in 2025. Higher prices, S&Ps right now, up by about 0.6%. Growth stocks pushing this market higher. We get back all of Friday's acceleration. We're up by 0.9, almost 1 full percentage point, up 240 points in the NASDAQ 100, 25,697. The Dow right now, up 160 points, or about 1/3%, 48,496. And you have the Russell, up by 0.6%, 14 points in the positive at 2512. Bitcoin, a little bit of a bid over the weekend, up by $1,800, approaching 90,000. We were as high as about 90,500 overnight. Bitcoin, 89,770 right now. Crude. I drove past Sam's this weekend, folks, and a gallon of unleaded gasoline was $2.49 a gallon. $2.49. I literally was like, whoa. Like, whoa. Crude down another 60 pennies. We're at 56.83. We're almost $2 off where we were on Wednesday's action. Crude down 1%. We jump to yields. We get a little bit of lower price, higher yield coming in. Now, going to be an interesting year for yields. We'll get a new Fed chair. That new Fed chair is going to get nominated sometime probably this month. And Chairman Powell has 3 meetings remaining. That new Fed chair will get 5 meetings this year. The 10-year at 4.16. 4.16 on the 10-year to kick off 2026. You jump over the dollar right now, 98.44 on the dollar. You jump over to metals. We finish out a spectacular 2025 with a little bit of volatility to the downside on metals. But this morning, you're up by about $41 on gold. You're up by 1%. Right now at 43.82. Oh boy, look at even. We just traded off like $30 in the last hour. Getting ready for the program. Silver, talk about volatile. Silver right now, no sellback, no pullback. Like gold. You see the pullback that gold had. Silver has it. We get higher. Silver's stronger than gold right now. Up another 4.5%. But boy, you talk about volatility, right? Silver up $3.20 at 73.80. Now, what's remarkable is silver. They're talking about silver in the Tiger's Den, of course. The COMEX silver contract is 5,000 ounces of silver. When you buy one contract, okay, you're buying 5,000 ounces. At this price level, you're approaching about a $370,000 total, okay, trade. 5,000 times 74. Do it yourself, all right? Now, they keep raising the margins. It's just the nature of the business, folks. It's actually not a lot of margin when you look at the margins. We'll talk about it later in the program in terms of the size of the trade that you're controlling, and they'll sell you out if you lose that money, okay? But you're talking about a trade right now, 5,000 contracts. So every dollar is $5,000 that this thing's moving on a full, okay? And they have a mini contract as well. It's a full contract. You can have the mini contract, which is 1,000 ounces. But nonetheless, big contracts and the margins are going up, and rightfully so. When you're talking about, you think about what this used to control just barely 6 weeks ago when silver was at merely $50, and now you're pushing 73. Remarkable. I mean, imagine you were at a $250,000 trade in November. You're at a $375,000 trade right now. Of course, margins are going up, because volatility is going up on top of the gross value. Pretty remarkable. You jump over to platinum right now. Same deal. Up $102, up 5%. Platinum catches a bid. You go back to a 5-minute chart. There's your acceleration lower on Wednesday to 1927. And just like that, we're more than $100 off those lows on platinum this morning. You jump over to Tesla. So Tesla kicks things off with deliveries. Deliveries down 16%, but the market don't care, man. It's not a car company. 418,227 deliveries, down 16% in the fourth quarter now. Yeah, what's so tough is that this is the quarter where the incentives ended. I mean, pretty remarkable when you think about it. They sold and delivered 418,000 cars in the 90 days following the $7,500 incentive ending. Whoever was out there buying a car in the final quarter, buying a Tesla, they couldn't make that decision when there was a $7,500 credit. Now, Tesla was trying to subsidize some of that on the back end, but still not that bad when you consider it in that context. This company with the valuation, though, is not a car company. Jump over the Analyze tab. Right now, you're talking about, come on, there we go, $1.5 trillion company. 1.5 trillion, okay? And what's remarkable here is that, and this is in the Thinkorswim platform, and do not take this at face value, folks, okay? Because the estimate of where that valuation comes from, 80% of it's automotive. Well, you know, it's quite a catch when you put in automotive, as in it might be in automotive, but it's in AI automation, right? Because it's not just selling cars, man. Everybody's going to be able to sell cars. Tesla, 1.5 trillion valuation. You're up by $6. And there are reports of deliveries, not reports, they reported deliveries, 418,000. But that subsidy came to an end. And those deliveries are the closest approximation of sales, but are not pricely defined in the company's shareholder communications. Gotta love it, right? The one thing you get closest is quote-unquote deliveries. Well, where they deliver them. Is it a sale? Now you talk about revenues, okay? And that's where they get the number on Thinkorswim as well. But here's the remarkable part is, where is the growth on this, right? Because you talk about a growth equity. Okay, this is quarterly revenue. You see the rise in energy and storage, yellow, services in blue, automotive revenues in light blue, we'll call it. And yeah. And his $1 trillion pay package. I mean, imagine, $1 trillion pay package is 10 times the total revenues of the company right now, even more than that, right? Now, yeah, things would have to increase for him to get that, but pretty remarkable. $1.5 trillion valuation for Tesla, deliveries down, but all things considered, probably not that bad when you look at, I mean, can't imagine being a sales guy, and they don't have a sales floor in that regard, but, you know, imagine trying to sell somebody a Tesla the day after those $7,500 credits went away. We take a look at the volume on Tesla. I was talking about this at the end of last week, man. We had a nice acceleration to the highs here on Tesla. That week of December 15th, the volume, look at the volume, right? One of the biggest weeks it had since the acceleration in early September. And yeah, you can go back to the April lows, but it was a huge sign of strength, man. Up to 495, and right now you're trading at 455, but you had strength. And look at this week. This week's going to be nothing, too. These two holiday weeks, don't base a ton on this volume. Yes, it matters. It's real, okay? You know, if the price just drifts up on this holiday volume and it's light, that matters. Well, in this case, Tesla's pulling back on light holiday volume, right? All right. Stay tuned, folks. We're coming back. We'll take a look at some of the big dogs. NVIDIA, with growth stocks pushing higher. NVIDIA up by almost $2 to $189 in the pre-market. You jump over to Amazon shares, up to $233 with a little volatility. Stay tuned, folks. We're coming back. If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out, like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people. They think it's too volatile and risky. Most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves on how to do it right. But you're not most people, are you? At TFNN, you'll get the guidance you need to refine your strategies and techniques to invest like a pro. Because you'll be a pro. All TFNN subscriptions, books, software, and courses are available at TFNN.com. And I'm even going to tell you how to get them for less. Use TFNN's Tiger Dollars and you'll get up to a 20% bonus on your purchase. And once you apply them to your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This portion of the Morning Market Kickoff is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Welcome back, folks. We got the S&Ps right now up by 34 points, NASDAQ up by 216, and we'll jump around to some of the growth stocks. We got 11 minutes until the opening bell of 2026, and Amazon up about a couple bucks. Now, one of the equities, you compare it to some of the other high flyers, Amazon underperforming, and you could say dramatically. Okay, you back it up to the highs of 2021 on Amazon, you're only about 20%. 24% higher, 2021, okay? You compare that to almost any of these equities. 2021, Microsoft is 130 bucks, 35? So what are you talking about there? 130, yeah, almost 40% above where you were at that time. Jump over to Google. Google's more than 100% above the 2021 highs. We jump over to Meta. 65% above those highs. We don't have to, let's talk about NVIDIA. Where are we? How much higher? NVIDIA, 500% above those highs. Even Tesla. Not quite Tesla. Even Tesla, though. Tesla's up 10% over those highs. So Amazon, one of the equities. I saw a couple calls over the holidays, and I have Amazon retirement account, folks. Okay, I'm biased. But it is one of the equities that has underperformed from that first acceleration. You pull back. It's been a heck of a run since the lows of 2023, and it's also been a heck of a run from the April lows, where you're up almost 50% from those price levels. But on a longer-term basis, it's something to watch. Now, you back it up to the quarter of July when they disappointed magnificently with Azure, that's something to keep your eye on Amazon. You're getting into Amazon, watch that Azure, watch how the competitors are growing and where Amazon's growth is. They're the leader. They're not going to be able to grow as fast as some of the other competitors there. But the other thing that they really have on their side is that advertising revenue. The margins on their advertising revenue. I saw that one too, Duffy. That actually won in Scott Galloway. And I like a lot of what he puts out. But yeah, and that's and then I started seeing what happens is once you see one thing, you see a couple others, and it has underperformed. And realistically, on a longer term basis, of course they're going to be a competitor. Google's had its moment in a big way. But one of the things that doesn't get talked about enough, I think, in the valuation of Amazon is that advertising revenue. Everybody talks about cloud because the cloud revenue and the margins are through the roof. Go look at the advertising revenue, look at the margins of the revenue, and look at the growth. And we'll pull them up. They are huge numbers for Amazon, and that is just not going away. The robotics issue that Galloway talks about, and Amazon, man, they were buying robotics companies decades ago. And so they are when it comes to that service. But guess what? Walmart's a big competitor, man. Amazon was eating their lunch in the pandemic. I mean, I talked about it. Look at Walmart. The 2021 high on Walmart is up 120%. You talk about growth stocks, man. Okay? But now I think it has reached that point. And, that's an issue, right? Where you're talking about Amazon, you're talking about Walmart. I told the stories back there. During the pandemic, folks, I would order a box from Sam's. It would get dropped off at my door. It would look like the size of a bed. It was huge. They shipped these huge boxes, put everything in between. I had diapers in there. I had boxes of wipes, and I had bags of Smart Food popcorn together. Well, guess what ended up happening, right? The bags of popcorn were basically just packaging for the boxes of wipes and diapers that just popped the popcorn, and they went everywhere. I couldn't understand how just functionally that was the competitor to Amazon. They are so far ahead of that now, Walmart, and that's where they were at that time. But guess what? They still have catching up to do when it comes to robotics, deliveries, on-time delivery, and ease. Because on Walmart and on Sam's, I still got to hit $50 an order, which is in one way it benefits them. Because if I want to get something delivered same day or something like that, I got to reach that level. So maybe I'll up my order. But on the other side of it, it's just not the same ease that Amazon and delivery. And yeah, those Amazon trucks, man, they're everywhere. But yeah, you take a look at the price and volume on Amazon, okay? Pretty remarkable that you had this rip lower on volume on their July earnings, and you actually, 90 days later, got above it with volume. Okay, and that's what really got me going now, is that, you know what? What do? You have a sign of strength in April, you trade lower with volume in their July earnings, and then you accelerate above that area on a weekly basis in October. You traded above those highs, you traded above the highs of September, you did it with volume, you pulled back on lighter volume, okay? And so even volume-wise, that's your weekly. You take a look at the monthly on Amazon. Yeah, same thing on a monthly. You traded higher. October's a big month for Amazon. A lot of strength there. Take a look at some of the other high flyers. Google, man. Look at that acceleration. Now, we're at a point that these equities are going to have to come into that valuation. That's something you're going to have to watch as well. Okay, Google, listen, Tommy, 4 years old, okay, and Tommy already knows Gemini. He already knows Gemini because we use it. I use it, okay? I use Gemini. He knows Gemini. We create amazing videos on Gemini, but pretty amazing when you see someone as young, the next generation, right? That Gemini, and it's not on purpose. I use ChatGPT as well. I've used Pika, like I've talked about, one of the apps in the past. But now I'll say, open Gemini. I say, man. I say, not just Google. You're already getting brand awareness of Gemini. You check out Microsoft. Now, this is going to be a big year when you talk about ChatGPT, their aspirations to go public, what kind of valuation they push in, potentially $1.5 trillion. Same thing. You look at this chart, man. The volume lines up on these big equities. Okay, you take a look at the weekly. Look at that sign of strength. December 15th. Most volume we had all year. No, not all year. April. So you're looking at Microsoft, man. That's your area. Okay? You know, you trade below there. Watch out a bit. We got a low there of 470.88 at Microsoft, up a couple bucks. And we jump over to Apple shares. Apple up only about 40 pennies, and I've talked about this one as well. You know, you got to look at how this channel, man. A nice sign of strength from the bottom of the channel, and then what do you get? Oh, you get some selling off the top. Okay, if you're looking at Apple, and I am looking at Apple, even adding some more Apple. I'm just waiting until potentially a little bit on the lighter side of that channel. But Apple shares, it's quite a channel. Speaking of channels, two of my favorites, Mickey D's. Now that's one pushing the bottom side. McDonald's, we're flat on the open. And the other one out there that's great, TJX, but they're pushing the top side as well. Stay tuned, folks. Coming back for the opening bell of 2026. We'll be right back.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. We got equities open and we got markets in positive territory, basically reclaiming Friday's action. We had a little bit of a sell-off. Excuse me, I keep saying Friday, feeling like we're coming back from the weekend, right? Reclaiming Wednesday's action. It's Friday today. It's the weekend already at the closing bell. Full day of trading today, as was the case on Wednesday. We had a little bit of a sell-off, about 40 points going into the final couple hours of Wednesday trading, last day of 2025. pretty remarkable. 2026. Got to get my head right to get that one. But nonetheless, markets. S&P's up by 0.6%. NASDAQ 100, we're up by more than 1% right now. Dow up by 105. You give back some of those gains on the open. The Russell catches a little bit on the opening bell, up by 0.7. We check in on yields. The 10-year sitting at about 4.16%. The dollar, 98.40. Yeah, crude prices, 56.88. Like I said, $2.49 a gallon. $2.49 a gallon. Can get used to that. Gold prices, continuous volatility right now. Gold up by $34. You jump over to silver, up by 4.3%, well off the lows of Wednesday when we closed it out near 69.25. We're trading at 73.64. Platinum up by 6% right now. We jump over to copper, calming down a bit. Copper up by 0.6%. You go back to silver. So silver right now trading at 73.63. I talked about earlier. A COMEX silver contract, folks, is 5,000 ounces. Okay? And then you got the E-minis that go with it, okay? Which are 1,000, I believe. COMEX 5,000 silver. And you can see that they up the margin, right? Previous initial was 25,000. Now you're talking about 32.5, okay? But what I encourage you, folks, is that it's not like fixing the market, and the reactions can right themselves, right? You better believe that it's a hindrance to that market when they raise the margins, right? It's like, they're coming after us, man. They're squeezing us. Well, put this in context, right? Imagine this equity moves. It's not an equity, okay? It's a futures contract. But if it was an equity, it would be moving up every day and the margins don't change. In the world of equities and stocks, now the maintenance one is a little bit different, right? The previous initial margin versus the maintenance fee in terms of what that level is. But in equities, okay, the initial margin for trading equities goes up every single day if the equity is going up every day. Okay, so what happens is it's just a more pronounced jump, but you better believe it happens, because I don't think most people would know that what this price is that we're seeing here, okay, is a futures contract, that the main contract represents 5,000 ounces, which at this price, okay, at 73.78, where it was this morning, $368,000 contract. So not really that big of a deal. In reality, okay, if this volatility were to continue, you'd see those margins increased even more. Because in reality, you're controlling 5,000 ounces. Every dollar is $5,000. Okay, so what? $7 wipes out a $35,000 position, which is pretty close to an initial. This thing's trading $7, $8, $9, $12 every day. Okay, you look at the high to low on silver just in the last 4 trading days, okay, and we'll see what today holds. You're talking about $7 of movement on the 26th, $12.40 of movement on the 29th, $8 of movement on the 30th, and $7 of movement on the 31st. Every one of those days, high to low, would wipe out an entire position of initial margin. So the fix is not in. To be able to trade $375,000 of silver, which is what it would be if silver was at $75, yeah, you're going to have to put up some cash. And in reality, you're putting up a lot less cash than you would if you're just buying any stock. And realistically, the odds that even a Tesla is not trading 10 to 12% a day, and meanwhile you're putting up 50% margin with a 25% margin, maintenance, excuse me. Well, in silver, this thing is moving 5 to 10% a day, and you're only putting up almost a 10% initial margin. So, if anything, that to me says that this is actually a super leveraged futures contract, okay? And all that's going to do is just provide more volatility. But yeah, we'll see if it holds. Okay, right now, you got that acceleration on Wednesday on actually lighter volume than Tuesday, but you better believe that this day from, is that Monday? Yeah, Monday sell-off, sticking out on silver when you trade down almost $12, and you do it with volume on a daily, and then you look at this weekly we have going on. It hasn't found it yet, but let's see. We did 490,000 contracts last week. And if you just add up, 250 was the first day set. So that's 410. Yeah, you're at 560. You're at 600,000 contracts for the week right now. Yeah. Wow. So this bearish bar is going to have volume. And we're going to exceed the 600,000 contracts that we did the week of December 8th. All right. Let's see what the day holds. Metals Fridays in the metal market. This is a special Friday, but boy, if you've been around that metals market enough, you know that you can get some action going. All right, we jump over to Tesla shares. All right, selling, stepping in. Tesla up by 0.7%, but we've sold off on the open. And so with that number, in terms of deliveries, like we talked about at 418,000, I think it's a big number, man. Okay, I can't imagine trying to, like I say, keep up when you lose that $7,500 credit. But those sales drop that company well behind BYD in the global ranks. Yeah, and BYD is accelerating upward. 2.26 million versus 1.64. And the robo-taxi's been in focus. All right, we talk about insiders. Bezos, Katz, Dell. Quite a run for Dell in 2025. Bezos, 25 million in Amazon shares, $5.7 billion. Pretty much a drop in the bucket in terms of what Amazon represents. But that's the top one. 5.6 billion. And then you have Safra Catz, former Oracle CEO. Oracle, one of the biggest stories out there this year as well. 2.5 billion. Not bad. Cashing in. Mr. Dell, 2.2 billion. Jensen Huang, $1 billion. Arista Network CEO, about $1 billion. Zuckerberg, 944 million. And as the list goes. Not really a big drop in the bucket when you look at some of the wealth out there. Ooh, look at Amazon up by 1.3%. All right, we'll come back, folks. We'll take a look at the heat map. What's moving in this market? You got Amazon up by 1.4% right now. NVIDIA up by 2.6% right now. Apple catches a bid. Stocks trading higher. 2026. Come right back, folks.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey. Because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. We get the Dow slipping into negative territory. The Russell gives up all of its gains. S&P still up by 21, and we got some equities accelerating higher or lower, and you jump around. Right now, Google, 2.2% on the upside. You got NVIDIA, Broadcom up by 2.7%, AMD up by 4.2%, Intel up by more than 4% this morning, Oracle up by 1%, and as I mentioned, Amazon up by 1.4%. On the flip side of that, you jump over to the Dow. Yeah, Salesforce off by 2.3% right now. Jump over to some of the higher priced equities in here. You got Home Depot down 0.6% right now. Okay, Goldman almost a $900 equity up by 0.6%. Caterpillar in the green as well. Johnson & Johnson off by 1.5%. IBM negative by 1%. Kicking it off a little bit of maybe potentially rotation, divergence. But you know, we get the market. You get the NASDAQ 100 right now up by a full percentage point. At the same time, the Dow just dives lower. We just lost 300 points since the market opened 13 minutes ago. S&P's right now a little bit lower, and the NASDAQ 100, after some volatility, yeah, right where we kicked off the opening bell. All right, you talk about hedge fund performance in 2025. Bridgewater, D.E. Shaw, among the top hedge fund gainers in 2025, was a big year for equities, a bigger year for some of the hedge funds out there. D.E. Shaw, 28%. And Bridgewater. No, as much as 28%. Here are the numbers. So check out first. Bridgewater's Pure Alpha 2 fund, their gain last year was $34%. Okay, you go, man, what a year for Bridgewater, right? Best year ever. Well, the all-weather strategy rose 20%. D.E. Shaw's flagship multi-strat composite hedge fund was 18.5. Oculus made an estimated 28.2. Michael Masood, how do you pronounce that one? Melcart Opportunities Fund, 45%. Millennium Management, $83.5 billion multi-strat hedge fund, gained just 10.5%. That's underperforming the market. $84 billion to perform with. Now, what's remarkable, though, is that Bridgewater leads this, right? You say, man, Dalio, right? Now, Dalio stepped down. They got a new CEO that's been in there since 2023. Nir Badia, I'm not sure of that name, sole CEO in 2023, sweeping personnel changes, the best year ever. from 2012 to 2024, that Alpha 2 fund for Bridgewater returned average annualized 3%, less than 3%. 2012 to 2024, man. How are you still in business? 2012, the market was at 1,300. And through 2024, it ended at 6,000. Do you hear that? 2012, so 1,300. And over 12 years, you went up to 6,000. And that fund returned 3% annualized over 12 years during that period of time. Whoo! But some big numbers last year for a lot of different hedge funds. So Bridgewater, which manages $92 billion as of September. And nobody talked to the article. Imagine that. Nobody commented on the list of how much money they make in an up year. And why would you want to, right? Why would you want to talk about? It's double-edged. It's double-edged, of course. All right, let's talk a little bit of Kraft Heinz. This one's an interesting one out here from the Journal talking about Kraft Heinz. No, excuse me, that's not the one. Come on, where's my Kraft Heinz? Here we go. So check this one out. This is a big one out here. As in a long article. How Kraft Heinz lost its lock on mac and cheese and American shoppers. Now, we do eat mac and cheese in this household. But I would agree that it's powdered, processed cheese. And sometimes I'll even call it that. It's not the end of the world, though, folks. Okay? All things in context. Not the end of the world to eat a little Kraft mac and cheese. Not going to kill you. Okay? Kraft Heinz sales have dropped for 8 straight quarters. In September, talked about the company. They're going to split in 2, undoing that 2015 deal. Big food companies are under siege. I would agree. Okay, and they just go over a couple examples that are pretty cool in here. Kraft mac and cheese first sold in 1937 for 19 cents a box. Seems remarkably expensive for 1937. 89 years ago. Let's see what the $1937 were today. $1 in 1937 is worth $22.51 today. Let's see if it doesn't at the pennies. $4.28. That'd be each box of Kraft mac and cheese being $4.28 today. For decades, it was one of the most bankable brands in food. Okay, now check this out. We'll go through this one because I could spend almost a whole show. They got a lot of other brands. I know Annie's is out there, which is a big one that they talked about. Okay, and there's this one, Goodles, as well. I've seen that one in stores as well, I think Target. But check out this. This is what I want to get to. Velveeta, Kraft, private labels, Annie's, and the smaller ones like Goodles. Now, of course, the ones that are smallest, you see this in the cloud, right? The ones that are the smallest, you're going to have the biggest opportunity for gains. But Kraft's down 6% over 3 years. 6% over 3 years is a massive loss for a company like that. So you're looking at either of these companies as they spin off. Check out this article. Kraft, that mac and cheese was partly to blame for a 4% sales decline in the largest division of the North American grocery unit of Kraft Heinz. Now, more recently, the company said Kraft mac and cheese in the 4 weeks ended November 16th were up 4% from a year earlier. You want more data than that, folks. I think there's probably a lot of variance of people buying mac and cheese. Pretty remarkable, though, what's going on in Kraft, facing some big problems there. And, yeah, smaller brands with a real opportunity. Almost reminds me of Nike. Has nothing to do with it in terms of eating healthy, right? Getting healthy, all that stuff. But in terms of just huge brands getting eaten up by some of the competitors out there, Nike's one of them. keeps facing some woes. And look at all that selling we had on their last earnings on Nike. Stay tuned, folks. One more segment. S&P's pushing higher. Growth stocks higher. NASDAQ up 331. We'll come right back.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. Jump over to Walmart shares, up by 0.2% right now. A little bit of a bid as we get the market. A little volatility. Look at that drive on the Dow, man. Dow, negative by 70 points. Yeah, so the furniture importers get a little bit of a reprieve from tariffs. Wayfair, you catch a bid all the way up to almost 109 this morning. You're at 105.45. Now, boy, look at the run-up that they've had. Pretty remarkable the rundown they had. This thing, quite the pullback from 52 to 20 to 105. Williams Sonoma, you're up by 2.7%. This thing cascaded from 215 down to 130. Yeah, nice sign of strength the week of December 15th out there. Williams Sonoma. Yeah, Restoration Hardware. I mean, look at the difference, right, between a company like Restoration Hardware versus Wayfair alone. Now you're up by 6.6%. They got hit almost harder than anybody on tariff day. The writing was on the wall ahead of that from 450 down to 221. Tariff volatility, I think they were down like 50% one day. All right, let's pull up the daily. What was that day? They closed it out at 249, and the next day they were at 138. Oh. Now you're up today. You're still right in the middle of this no man's gap on Restoration Hardware. But once again, tech stocks plowing higher in this market. Growth stocks, Amazon up by 1.2%, Google up by 2.2%, Nvidia up by 3% to kick it off, Broadcom up by 3.3%, Micron up by 7.8%. Wow. Not much more you can say than wow on that one, Micron. And we'll jump over to metals to finish it up. Why not? Gold. Still hanging on to gains, but off the highs. Gold up by $28. You jump over to silver right now, up by 4% at $73.45. All right, folks, stay tuned. We got our man Basil Chapman. He's coming up next with the Tiger Technicians Hour. Steve Rhodes with the Trader's Edge at 11. Fast Market at 12 from the Schwab Network. Our man Larry Pesavento coming up at 1 o'clock, and I'll see you at 3 o'clock for the Tom O'Brien Show. Have a great Friday, everybody. Stay tuned.